Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad to see all of you out there. And I'm Diana Rankin, and this is our chat where we answer your questions that you've sent in. And we ask that those questions be esoteric in nature. In other words, they may have a personal interest, but they're of interest to everybody. They're not just about what's going on in your life. And our question this week will certainly make that clear. We will also get a message from one of my books, which is the Master's Book of Answers by Phillip. And this book, as you know, is just an oracle book. So we just open to any page. And it always shocks me how that answer that we get from Phillip so much relates to our question from one of you. So I'm so glad you're here. I welcome you all, whether we see each other live or you're watching this video later. Thank you for being a part of my life. And hopefully you'll find this information helpful. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments below, or you can email me. And if you want to know how to get a hold of me, that information is just right below here. So here we go. I want to get started because it's a long answer, a little bit longer than usual. I mean, it's not going to go on for an hour, but it's going to go over a few more pages here. So here's our question. What is the sole lessons of prejudice, racism, and anti-Semitism? What is the lesson both for the person holding the hatred and the object of it? Well, I think for the times we're living in, especially here in the U.S., that is a really strong question because we're seeing that come out. And if you saw last week's or some of my other videos, you heard me explain that we're going through that period of time now where the pus is coming out. Well, the piss too, all right. But when we heal a wound, and we do this in our own lives, and if we do this in our own lives, we're doing it in the world, because what we do definitely has a direct effect on the world. So I say we heal like this, where the wound, it may be scarred over, but there's still a lot of pus in there. And what's happening in our world today, especially here where I am in the US, it's being pulled open. It's been pulled open the last few years. And so what we're trying to do is just heal it like this. And we're going through worldwide as a planet, we're going through this marvelous healing. So the pus has to come out for the wound to be healed. And that's part of the prejudice and the racism and the anti-Semitism. Hello, Michelle. Michelle wants to know, are you able to locate missing or stolen pets? And Michelle, that I have a video on, and you can contact me through the website. But the video will be very helpful for you. And there will be a lot of comments in that video that I think you'll find helpful, not in the video itself, but the comments below. They're like 47,000 views. So yes, and if you want to make an appointment to talk with me privately, that information is on my website, and how to get a hold of me is below. I think my phone number is even on the website. So, all right, let me get going though with this question. What we're looking at is, what is the sole lesson of prejudice, racism, and anti-Semitism? What is the lesson both for the person holding the hatred and the object of it? Here's what Phillip says. Let us begin by saying there are multiple reasons. We shall give you an overall picture of the categories and possibilities. Please keep in mind there are subcategories and nuances to numerous, T-O-O, numerous, T-O, mention, as each soul's journey is unique to the soul. We also wish to explain that multiple categories may also be involved. This is a highly complex question for which we wish to simplify an answer for understanding of the issue by minds not yet available for full comprehension. I think he's talking about us there. For minds not yet available for full comprehension. That can only take place after multiple life experiences and study. This would most likely take place in spirit form after human life experiences have given the background for understanding, which most of us don't yet have, I think he's telling us. Okay, that said, let us begin with the categories of which we made mention. The first category that is the broadest and overlaps with other categories is both the one who hates and the one who receives the hate have a soul agreement made while in spirit to have the shared experience. The question, of course, is why would they enter into this agreement? So here we go to other categories. So what he's saying is pretty much in every category. And I think he's going to give us two broad categories here. That in spirit world, when we're in spirit world, we have that soul agreement that, before we come into the planet Earth, into the third dimension, we get together our team, so to speak. And this I go into in a fiction story in my book, The Found Child. A bit more about this, but we get together our team, and that team works with us throughout our life, and we have these different agreements. And as humans, believe me, we never make these agreements. I always say we never read the small print, but we have these different agreements. And here are a couple of reasons why we might make this type of agreement to be the hater or the victim. The question, of course, Phillip says, is why would they enter into this agreement? So here we go to other categories. We refer to the one who demonstrates prejudice toward anyone or any group as the hater. We shall call the one who is the object of the hater the victim. That's for clarity. You must keep in mind these words have meaning in the human form. In the spirit, these words have no form. They are neither harmful or evil, they are neither harmful or evil as they are in the human form. Let us say that in another lifetime, as past lives, as many say, he says another lifetime or life experiences, we call it past lives. Phillip doesn't normally call it past lives because everything is happening at once. He doesn't see past, future, present, and so forth. That's part of our dimension. But he's saying past lives so we can understand. A child was born who knew only love. Let us say this is a new soul into the earth plane. As this child experiences earth life, several things could happen. For example, the child could live out their life in innocence, choosing to not get enmeshed in Earth's dimension. This is rare, but possible. Let us create a different story for the child. One day, a group of haters came to her village to destroy. It may be a Jewish village or a Native American village or a Palestinian village. It matters not for our purpose here. The haters do not like the villagers because their skin is darker, or the religion is different, or for 1,000 reasons used as an excuse to hate another. The child is frightened as she witnesses the haters drag away a man, perhaps her father, and hang him. As a human, she now experiences fear, anger, hate for those who came into her village and did harm. Once she experiences these emotions, she becomes more human. She is now wounded. As she continues to live in the earth plane, her wound will continue to draw that energy of fear, anger, hate to her. Love may even be forgotten. This is as she's going through the life cycles of life, death, life, death. She may have several lifetimes where her wound deepens. Even time in spirit world may not give her insight. So she returns life after life, wounding others until one day she has a realization of her wound. I always say the wounded wound others. So we want to heal our wounds. At this time, she may choose soul agreements with all those she's wounded to allow them to hate her or forgive her. As she grows through life experiences, she learns before others can forgive her. She must first forgive herself. Once she is able to do so, she must then forgive those who created the original wound. Finally, she must come into love. This is not the innocent love she once knew, but a love of fuller understanding of human life. With this love, born of many lifetimes, she is able to create a path for others to heal their wounds from being the hater and the victim. Let us take another category. Let us say this person has lived multiple lives that were sheltered, one who has never felt any bias against him. While in spirit form, he learns of the life of a man whose skin is dark. This man was murdered because of the color of his skin. The one who has lived sheltered earth experiences is unable to understand the man's pain. Although he is not a new soul, for he has lived many lives, he has not experienced the hatred of which we speak. The sheltered one chooses to experience lifetimes of being the victim to have a full understanding of the hater. He must also experience this. Once he is able to remove himself from these experiences, he has an understanding of both the hater and the victim. He can now become a guide and teacher to aid the victim and heal the wounds of the haters. He can be the guide and teacher in both human life and in spirit world. As you most likely have noticed, human life is about the experiences of human life. In love, there is no judgment of good and evil as there is in human life. The experience allows you to understand all life. You have chosen to come into human form. In doing so, you choose those experiences you wish to have. Once you have the experiences, you then become part of the emotion of that experience as it becomes a part of you. The deeper you go into the experience, the deeper will be the need for counter experience. There must always be a balance. Hate must be met with hate, or hate may be met with love. The first, when hate is met with hate, is lacking balance. The second, when hate is met with love, has balance, but it only reaches after is only reached after experiences allow understanding of the greater experience is reached. So what Philip is saying here is, in order to have the human experience, that we will go through lifetimes after lifetimes experiencing, we may come in as that pure soul experiencing love, or come in later just saying, I'm going to sacrifice that I can heal this, that I can then teach how to heal. So I'm going to have to learn what the hater feels. I'm going to have to learn what the victim feels. And so we come in with these multiple life experiences until we find the balance. So we may go, way over this way, then the pendulum will swing back to way over this way. I can use this for a pendulum, can't I? So the pendulum's always going to swing this way before it swings this way. It doesn't work so well on my neck. But we always have that swing one direction and then the other, and then we come and we find the balance. Once we find the balance, we're then able to move it into a place of love. And so we no longer need to move back and forth between fear or anger or hate and love. We can just move into where they're balancing each other. And we can accept that and recognize that this is just a balance for this. It's like, do we really understand the beauty of sunshine on our face if we've not felt rain or haven't seen the clouds? We are able as humans to really see the beauty of something if we've seen the opposite. We know the sun because of the shadow, but we have to then get to know the sun and let go of the shadow in order to really be able to move past it. Philip goes on to say, all hate comes from fear. Remove the fear, and there is no reason for hate. Let us say for there to be the story of human life, and he's putting that in upper letters, in quote, in uppercase letters, capital letters. I'm uppercase, I'm talking like a writer and an editor here, but in capital letters, the story of human life, as though it's a title, the story of human life. So let us say, for there to be the story of human life, there must be opposites, which leads to the journey of balance. As humans journey to balance, they will have no need for opposites. Then there will be love. Until then, there will be the story of haters and victims, for this is the story until it is changed. I'm going to read that again. Let us say, for there to be the story of human life, there must be opposites, which leads to the journey of balance. As humans journey to balance, they will have no need for opposites. Then there will be love. Until then, there will be the story of haters and victims, for this is the story until it is changed. I want to just show you too, just real quickly here. I put a leaf in my journal here because isn't that beautiful? That's what it looks like where I am. The leaves are starting to change and it's lovely. All right, my friends, we're going to get our message from Phillip. And so what we do, there we go. We just open to any page. And I'm hearing left a little bit stronger than right. So if you heard left, you and I are in sync. If you heard right, that's a message for you. Please make sure you listen carefully. So the left side says, tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thought creates today? I'm going to reread that, my friends. Tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thought creates today? And does that go along with what Philip's answer to our question was? And if you heard right, here's your wisdom. Do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. Do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. All right, those are our messages for this week. Judith, so good to see you. Good afternoon. Thank you. And Michelle, I'm going to have not quite an hour. So if you wanted to go ahead and give me a call, I can talk to you a little bit more about your question. That's a personal question, so I don't want to take up everyone's time to do that. So you can reach me. Give me about 10 minutes when we hang up, and then you should be able to reach me within the next hour only, and then I won't be available. Judith, so good to see you, and I want to thank all of you for your questions, because I learn from the questions that you send in. So thank you so much. Thank you for receiving the love from me and all of us here. We're all doing well. Daisy had a bad spell, but she came through and she is running up and down the lane and running out in the meadow again. So I'm so happy for that. Hello, Kay. Again, this is not the channel, or this is not what we're doing here for missing pets. So please use the video. It's a meditation for finding lost pets. A lot of comments under it. How to get a hold of me is also listed there. Please do that. Use the meditation that I have, meditation for finding lost pets. To contact me, the information is below. And those of you who have lost pets, let those who have found their pets inspire you. Those are lots of comments, 47,000 views, lots of comments. But for this Friday, for what we do here is we answer questions that are of interest to all the audience. And so thank you for the love that you send to us. And certainly with those with pets, I hold you in my heart. And I love you all. We'll talk soon. See you next Friday. And if you haven't seen the monthly predictions, that's out on both YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Be sure and check out October's predictions. I like them much better than September. So check it out. Until next week, my friends, I love you. Take care. Thank you for being here today.